Hello, my friend. I am Owen Thorne, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this special bedtime journey. Tonight, you'll be invited into a cozy, magical tale about a leprechaun's secret hideaway. An enchanting place where shimmering moonlight and the soft glow of lanterns guide you toward peaceful dreams. As you settle into your resting space, take a deep breath in through your nose and gently release it through your mouth. With each measured inhale, feel the day's tension loosen. With each soft exhale, sense the calm whisper of nightfall surrounding you. Notice how your arms, your legs, and your shoulders begin to sink deeper into comfort. Let your thoughts grow quieter, like leaves drifting on a still pond. This is your moment to unwind, to surrender to the hush of twilight. Outside, maybe the world feels a little quieter now, and in that hush, a story is waiting. You can almost hear it, a gentle melody on the breeze. Close your eyes and listen. There, in the distance, is the faint lilting call of a new dream. The gentle hush of the wind is telling you to rest, and to follow it into the realm of quiet wonders. Let go of the day behind you. Let go of tomorrow's plans. Let go of every pressing thought, replacing it with a simple softness that spreads across your body. Welcome this ease, dear one, and let it carry you softly forward. Now, a distant whisper of music draws us into a land unlike any other, a place aglow with a glimmer of emerald hills, and in the midst of it all, a hidden treasure known only to a fortunate few. This is where the story begins. In a valley kissed by rolling green meadows, a gentle hush lay over the land. The air was alive with the scent of fresh dew and morning clover. Butterflies danced in early sunlight, their wings dusted with iridescent hues that sparkled each time they fluttered. At the heart of this valley, beyond the bend of a winding river and under the arch of ancient oaks, stood a tiny stone cottage belonging to an old couple named Harold and Maura. Their days were filled with quiet tasks, gathering berries, tending the sheep, and welcoming the occasional traveller with a warm meal. Yet, even in this peaceful place, few people recognized the subtle magic that gently wove through the tall grass. Not far from Harold and Maura's humble abode, a lesser-worn path led deeper into the countryside. Soft banks of moss and shy white flowers lined this little trail, giving it a secretive, almost beckoning allure. And if someone were to follow the path at just the right time, especially on the eve of St. Patrick's Day, they might catch the faint tinkling of bells. These bells, though quiet, had a mysterious echo that seemed to resonate within the heart. Some described it as a playful ring that lifted the spirit, while others claimed it sounded more like a lullaby, echoing from beyond the veil of day and night. Early one morning, a gentle traveller arrived in the valley. This traveller, neither young nor old, stepped off a wooden cart and gazed around, searching for the quiet wonders often described by passers-by. A hooded cloak sheltered the traveller from the cool breeze, and a small bundle of simple belongings rested at their side. There was no rush to their steps, no hurry in their heart. Instead, they let the hush of the valley guide them. With each footfall, they became more attuned to the land's serene invitation. High above, a gentle sun painted the sky with warm gold, illuminating the rolling hills. At intervals, a soft breeze would glide over the fields, rustling the grass in waves of emerald shimmer. In these fleeting moments, the traveller felt a gentle stirring, a sense that something unseen was waiting just beyond the next bend. As dusk fell, the traveller discovered Harold and Mora's cottage. Warm light glowed from its windows, and the faint aroma of fresh bread drifted on the breeze. Invited inside, the traveller sat at a small wooden table, sipping tea made from herbs grown in the nearby meadow. Mora, in a gentle voice, spoke of a legend passed down through the valley for centuries. A legend of a leprechaun who kept a secret hideaway somewhere amid the rolling hills. It was said that this leprechaun possessed not just gold, but an entire trove of wonders rarely beheld by human eyes. Twinkling lanterns shaped like clovers, crystal flutes that played themselves, and a magical harp that sang lullabies under the moon's watchful gaze. The traveller listened, lulled by the soft timbre of Mora's voice, and Harold's occasional nod of agreement. The flicker of candlelight threw dancing shadows across the cottage walls, giving the impression that unseen fairies had joined the conversation. Though many had come to the valley searching for the leprechaun's treasure, none had seen more than a fleeting glimpse of the fabled creature, a flash of green in the corner of the eye, or the faint jingle of bells echoing in a faraway glen. Yet, on this particular St. Patrick's Day Eve, the traveller felt drawn to explore. There was no longing for treasure, no craving for fortune. It was simply a gentle curiosity about the land itself, the way the sun fell upon shamrocks at midday, or how the evening sky shimmered like an emerald sea just as the stars emerged. After finishing the simple meal, the traveller thanked Harold and Mora and stepped back into the early night. The moon was gently rising, a pale crescent set against a deepening azure sky. A light mist curled over the meadows. Fireflies glowed in the distance, flickering like tiny lanterns guiding each step. Softly, so softly, the tinkling bells returned, their melody weaving through the hush of twilight. Drawn by this ethereal sound, the traveller let intuition lead the way. Step by step, meandering deeper along the mossy path, they felt the night air grow cooler. The bells grew nearer, echoing gently. At last, the traveller reached a small clearing encircled by ancient willow trees. Their branches draped low, forming a protective curtain of leaves. Within this living circle, the grasses were impossibly soft, as though woven from slumbering clouds. Lanterns of ghostly green hung from the willows. Lanterns so light and delicate, they seemed spun from glowing spider silk. A hush filled the clearing, except for the faint notes of that chiming lullaby. This was a realm of calm enchantment, a place poised between wakefulness and dreams. And there, near the base of the largest willow, stood a figure scarcely 2 feet high, He wore a tiny green waistcoat, complete with shiny brass buttons that sparkled in the moonlight. A tall hat, adorned with a single shamrock sprig, tilted at a rakish angle atop his head. Pointed shoes peeked from beneath the cuffs of his trousers, and in one hand he clutched a small flute carved from a piece of polished wood. His eyes, bright and mischievous, carried a warmth that suggested kindness rather than trickery. This was the Leprechaun. He was studying the traveller with curiosity equal to their own. After a moment of mutual silent wonder, he lifted his flute to his lips. The tune that followed was as soft as a lullaby, weaving through the clearing like a warm breeze. With each gentle note, the lanterns along the branches seemed to glow brighter. A hush of awe settled across the traveller, who simply stood, content to listen. When the final note faded, the Leprechaun took a small bow, then motioned politely for the traveller to approach. Though he said not a word, a sense of invitation, of welcome, was unmistakable. The traveller followed him beneath a twisted bough, and in a hush of moonlit magic, the willow's trunk parted to reveal a hidden doorway. Leading inside, a soft amber light radiated from behind an ornate wooden arch. Without a trace of fear, only calm wonder, the traveller stepped through. Within the trunk of that ancient willow was a spiralling passage, lined with tiny crystals that glimmered like stars. Shelves carved from the wood held miniature pottery, each bowl or cup adorned with delicate clover motifs. The air was fresh, yet it carried an undercurrent of age-old secrets. At intervals, small windows allowed glimpses of the outside world, pockets of moonlight filtering through the leaves, painting shifting patterns on the walls. The traveller followed the Leprechaun down and around, deeper and deeper, until, at last, they entered a spacious chamber at the base of the tree. This chamber had a domed ceiling made of entwined willow roots. Soft green moss cushioned the floor, and in the centre lay a pool of water so clear it could have been liquid crystal. Fairy lights danced over its surface, rippling gently. At the edge of the pool was a hand-carved wooden table set with teacups no bigger than a child's thumb. Tiny puffs of steam rose from each cup, releasing the comforting aroma of chamomile and mint. The Leprechaun gestured for the traveller to be seated on a low stool padded with plush moss. He then poured tea into a cup, his movements measured and ceremonial. Though no words were spoken, the traveller felt an overwhelming sense of welcome, a sense that they were a guest not only in this hidden realm, but in the quiet hush of magic itself. Outside, the bells continued their distant jingle, weaving into the melody of the wind. Slowly, the Leprechaun looked up. He raised one hand toward the domed ceiling, a silent invitation to observe the swirl of pale lights. Tiny motes of green drifted above, forming shapes of shamrocks that faded and reappeared like fleeting dreams. The traveller watched, captivated by these gentle illusions. In that moment, thoughts of the outside world, of tasks or worries, melted away. The only reality was this sanctuary of moonlit stillness. the hush of flowing magic and a peaceful presence that soothed every breath. Time seemed to drift without measure. One moment, the chamber felt like a midnight hideaway. The next, it seemed as if dawn might be approaching, though the traveller could sense no hurry, no sense of rushing time. The leprechaun occasionally sipped his tea, eyes twinkling with satisfaction at the traveller's calm acceptance of this dreamlike realm. At length, he pointed toward a slender corridor lined with soft lanterns. With a gentle bow, he seemed to suggest that the traveller proceed, that more wonders awaited discovery. Following the lantern-lit path, the traveller came upon a scene so quietly magical that breath caught in their throat. It was a hidden glade, far larger than the first clearing, illuminated from above by the intricate, root-woven ceiling that let in filtered moonlight. In this glade, clusters of 4-leaf clovers sparkled like polished jade, while mushrooms of different shapes and sizes emitted a faint glow of their own. Some mushrooms were tall and slender, with caps that seemed to flicker softly, while others formed a ring around a tiny platform of polished stone. Resting on that platform was a small harp, strings glistening as though made of moonbeams. Gently, the traveller approached the harp, compelled by a quiet sense that it held music beyond ordinary measure. Yet the traveller hesitated to touch it. This was, after all, the domain of the leprechaun, and it was only polite to wait for permission. A soft rustle behind them signalled the leprechaun's presence. With a kind nod, the little figure stepped forward and strummed a single chord. The sound that filled the glade was unlike anything the traveller had heard before. It was gentle as a whisper, but it spread warmth through every corner of the chamber. A sense of peace, deeper than sleep, enveloped them both. In that moment, an unspoken understanding passed between the traveller and the leprechaun. This harp was no mere instrument. Its notes carried the essence of hope, tranquility, and something reminiscent of home. Each new chord was like a soft wave of serenity, rippling through the mossy floor and shimmering in the still air. The mushrooms glowed brighter, their luminescence pulsing gently with the harp's lullaby. It was as though the entire place breathed in harmony, each note encouraging more relaxation, more release of tension. Softly, the leprechaun handed the harp to the traveller, who plucked its strings with trembling curiosity. The sound was pure, echoing with an ancient lullaby that seemed to rise from the hollow of the earth. The traveller felt tears of awe forming at the corners of their eyes, not of sadness, but of wonder and gratitude. The leprechaun's eyes shone with a warm smile as he watched. In the distance, the bells chimed again, as if celebrating this gentle connection between mortal and magic. After the last note faded, the leprechaun extended a small wooden box, intricately carved with swirling vines and shamrocks. Opening it revealed a tiny, folded piece of parchment. The traveller carefully lifted it, revealing symbols and sketches that resembled a map. Delicate lines traced a path through these underground tunnels, weaving among hidden chambers and tunnels that branched like the roots of ancient trees. At the center of the map was a glowing emblem of a shamrock and a single word written in flowing script: fortune. Yet, in the hush of that realm, fortune did not seem to mean gold or coins. Instead, it hinted at a deeper treasure: gratitude, acceptance, peace in the presence of life's little miracles. Nodding to the traveller, the leprechaun encouraged them to follow the map if they wished. It was entirely up to them. There was no urgency, no prize to be claimed by force. A choice to wander further, or to simply stay in the glade, was offered freely. The traveller found their heart leaning toward exploration, the same gentle curiosity that had brought them to the valley. Lantern in hand, guided by that tiny map, the traveller set forth once more. The leprechaun ambled quietly beside them, occasionally pointing out subtle markings on the tunnel walls, shapes reminiscent of woodland creatures, gently carved by someone long ago. Some passages wound upward, letting in glimpses of the starry sky through slim openings. Others descended into cozy dens lined with cushions of moss and faintly glowing ferns. All the while, the gentle music of far-off bells seemed to accompany them, a constant reassurance that they were never far from the heart of magic. At length, they arrived at a circular chamber. The rock walls here were smoother, painted in shimmering patterns that resembled dancing ribbons of light. The floor was soft to the touch, and in the center stood a single pedestal made of crystal clear quartz. Upon that pedestal rested a small jar of glittering dust. The leprechaun approached it reverently, lifting the jar so that the lantern light sparkled upon its contents. Then, stepping close to the traveller, he tapped a sprinkle of the dust into the traveller's palm. The dust felt cool, almost silky, yet it vanished the moment it touched skin, leaving behind a gentle tingling sensation that spread through the traveller's entire being. A contented sigh escaped the traveller's lips. Every muscle felt lighter, every worry fainter. Even the tunnel air seemed fresher, the gentle scent of clover more pronounced. The leprechaun patted the jar with a small hand, then placed it back on the pedestal. No words were exchanged, but the traveller understood. This dust was a token of blessing, a small piece of magic that allowed one to see the wonder in the world more clearly. With that, the leprechaun motioned for the traveller to follow one final corridor. At its end lay a simple wooden door, carved with whimsical patterns of foxgloves and dancing pixies. Slowly, the leprechaun pushed it open. A swirl of fresh night air greeted them both, carrying the scent of grass and distant lavender fields. The traveller blinked under the canopy of stars. They had emerged near the crest of a hill overlooking the valley. Far below, Harold and Maura's cottage glowed with the softest of lights, and the gentle ribbons of the winding river shimmered in the moon's reflection. From this vantage, the valley looked like a storybook scene. Rolling hills dotted with sheep, tiny cottages snug under thatched roofs, and beyond them, the faint silhouette of mountains leaning protectively against the horizon. The bells sounded one last time, soft, affectionate, like a lullaby bidding farewell. The leprechaun stood beside the traveller, looking out over the valley, a quiet companion to the hush of the night. For a moment, the traveller glanced at the small figure dressed in green, wanting to offer gratitude, but uncertain how to put such feelings into words. Then, without warning, the leprechaun winked. With a playful tug of his hat, he turned and stepped back through the door into the earth. Gently, it closed behind him, leaving no trace of an entrance. As though the hillside itself sighed, the outlines of the door faded into the greenery. The traveller was alone, but not lonely, bathed in a soft sense of peace. The dust's gentle magic still tingled faintly, reminding them of the wonders they had witnessed. Looking up at the sky, the traveller felt no need for anything more than this quiet moment. Somewhere below, the traveller knew Harold and Maura were likely by the hearth, telling stories of long ago. Somewhere deep beneath the willow, the leprechaun might be sharing tea with glowing mushrooms or strumming the harp's lullaby. And somewhere close by, intangible yet tangible, the bells continued their serene melody, weaving through the fabric of night. In time, the traveller found a comfortable patch of grass. Cloak pulled snug, they settled onto the hillside, lulled by the steady rhythm of the wind across the valley. Gentle starlight and the silver glow of the moon enveloped the scene. Thoughts drifted like clouds, light and effortless. The traveller breathed deeply, each exhale dissolving all remnants of tension, each inhale filling the lungs with the crisp, magical hush of St. Patrick's Day night. It was a time of celebration, yet it felt like a gentle, peaceful festival of the heart, one that asked for no more than this simple surrender to nature's lullaby. Not far away, a single shamrock shimmered in the moonlight, standing proudly in the tall grass. Perhaps it was a gesture from the leprechaun, an assurance that the door to enchantment was never truly closed, merely hidden, waiting for those who wished to find it in the quiet spaces between dusk and dawn. As the evening deepened, the valley embraced its gentle hush, and the traveller let their eyelids fall heavy with the warm lull of the night. Any lingering stir of curiosity gave way to contentment. The bells grew softer, as though guiding the traveller into a realm of dreams, a place where the memory of glowing mushrooms and a secret harp played on. Each breath was slow and steady, each heartbeat a soft echo of moonlit stillness. The enchanting glow of that hidden world remained, tucked away in the traveller's heart, just as it is in the hush of your own breath whenever you rest and release. Over the valley, the stars shimmered, guardians of a restful sleep. The land below seemed to breathe in unison, a tapestry of soft night sounds, a mild rustling of leaves, an occasional distant hoot of an owl, the faint trickle of the river, all blended into a single, soothing lullaby. It was an invitation to let go, to float gently on the currents of dreams. Over time, even the mild awareness of body and breath slipped into the deeper realms of rest. The secret hideaway, the leprechaun, and the jingling bells felt closer than ever, as if just behind closed eyelids, a realm of shimmering green awaited. No hurry, no effort was required, no words needed to be spoken. And so, in that stillness, the traveller, like all dreamers, drifted, carried by a gentle peace that asked for nothing and offered everything. The sweet hush of St. Patrick's Day settled across the hills, blessing the night with warmth and a festive kind of quiet, the sort that celebrates the simplest joys. Far from hustle and noise, this slumbering land held its promise of renewal, whispering that every dawn brings fresh hope, and every dusk allows rest. If you find your thoughts wandering, let them wander gently. Let the memory of soft bells and glowing clovers cradle you. There's no need to search for answers, no need to hold on to questions. The gentle lull of the harp strings exists now in the slow rhythm of your heartbeat. Let it lead you into a deeper ease, a calmer breath, a tranquil soul. Allow the story to fade on the edges of your awareness. The hills will remain, the bells will continue to chime, and the leprechaun's hideaway will keep its door quietly open in the realm of dreams. You are free to linger at the threshold, or to step inside whenever you wish. There is only the soothing lull of night, and the quiet that nurtures sleep. The world beyond your eyes may slip away now, replaced by the softness of slumber. Within that slumber, you carry a gentle knowledge that magic and comfort wait just beneath the surface of your dreams. Accept this moment of rest as a gift. In the morning, when a new light dawns, you can revisit the story or let it remain an unspoken treasure in your heart. For now, drift deeper and deeper into peace. Let each breath guide you further into stillness, where only calm resides. Let your body sink into its resting place, supported and safe, while your mind floats free of care. The music of the harp echoes in the distance, joined by the faintest ring of tiny bells, all part of a distant lullaby meant just for you. Good night, dear traveller. Sleep well. May your dreams be as gentle as a moonlit harp, and your heart as light as a dancing shamrock in the spring breeze. Let the hush of the valley envelope you, and find your rest in the soft tapestry of dream-woven stories that guide you to the sweetest of slumbers. May these hours restore and uplift you, carrying you to a bright new dawn when you awaken, refreshed, comforted, and softly smiling at the memory of a leprechaun's hidden realm.